So, yeah, culture swap.
Swap my culture.
This one was all because I think Barefoot Again is the best anime I've ever seen.
Yeah, so listeners, this whole section is going to be pretty depressing.
There's going to be spoilers.
We're going to spoil Barefoot Again, which is a historical sort of anime set around.
We're also going to spoil
bombing.
the effects of a nuclear bomb.
Yeah. If you don't know how... I can't even joke about it. I wanted to make a joke there, but it makes me sad.
It's just not really appropriate, is it?
No. Listeners, the reason we did this is because, as those of you who listen regularly will know, Liam refused to watch any more anime till we did Barefoot Again, because in his opinion it is the best anime.
So here's the whole
that was years ago.
This.
So I eventually went, hey, we've left it to. It's my birthday. We're doing a birthday special. I'm going to do Princess Mononoke, which, as those of you who listen to that episode will know, caused a bit of a row with Liam.
Yeah, because I made
like
a
an
promise
unusual
to the
row between us, where Liam was actually offended at me.
I made a promise to the listeners that. So the whole point of doing anime, right, is it ties in like when we first started the show, Culture Swap. Like I was bringing like these culty movies that you'd never heard of, pretty much. Things like Spider Baby, things like the Mumblecore movies, etc.
Yeah.
And you were bringing stuff like anime that I'd never heard of.
And comic books.
Right? Now, as time's gone on, I've got more and more versed in comic books. But with anime, I've always felt like there was a disconnect between what you were kind of bringing to me and what I enjoyed. So I drew a line in the sand and I went, look, let me show you the anime that I think is the best anime I've ever seen, so you can see like what you're working against. Like I want you to try and find something that I'm going to find more impressive than Barefoot Again. Right.
I mean, so the issue with that, Liam, right, is you can't compete with Barefoot Again into like.
No, it's the best anime. It's the best anime.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you can't compete. Like to say to someone, imagine saying to someone, "Hey, can you just go and find me anime that I like?" And then them going, "Oh yeah. What sort of stuff are you into?" And you turn around and go, "Barefoot Again." You know, the one with the scene where everyone melts.
Yeah, you'd go, okay,
they go Grave of the Fireflies, and that's it.
No, it's not really an anime. You could do another animated movie, though.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
I know what one you mean, though.
Yeah, When the Wind Blows.
So that's the issue with this film, is it hasn't, like, opened up options to me. It's not like I've suddenly gone, oh, I understand now.
No.
Because...
No, the other thing, right, the other reason for doing it, in all seriousness, is, I think, not necessarily from you, but maybe from the audience, there might have been a perception that I was just dismissive of all anime, and I wanted to kind of say, look, there's anime that I do like.
You wanted to clarify that it's not all anime, it's just all anime except the most horrendous ones. Like horrendous in terms of, like, upsetting.
Yeah, I think Princess Mononoke, I didn't necessarily mind.
You didn't hate it, you just
I was
thought it was
indifferent
average.
to it.
Yeah.
And I've seen Grave of the Fireflies before. I don't really remember it that well. I need to rewatch it.
And there was that one you used to watch when you were a kid about schoolgirls.
Oh yeah, Rumbling Hearts.
Which you occasionally bring up.
Yeah, I think we should do that for another episode, to be honest.
Well, we will at some point.
And I've seen Spirited Away as well.
Yeah, which is a good one.
Yeah, I don't really remember it, but at the time I think I thought it was okay. And I've seen Akira, which I did not like.
That's weird, because Akira's good, but...
Yeah, a lot of people love it, right? And I just... So I think this is the thing. I can't say I'm a fan of anime. I think it's hard work to find an anime that I would enjoy. Yeah. But I'm not... I want to make it clear, it's not that I hate all anime.
It just sounds like it is.
Well, apart from Barefoot Again.
Yeah.
Which is an anime.
So, that's effectively why we got to this point, listeners, was just in case I wanted to do an anime for my next birthday special, which is next episode.
Yeah.
We had to get Barefoot Again out of the way so that Liam wouldn't just get very upset with me when I was like, well...
Yeah. Because now, right, this is the promise I made to the listeners. No more anime until we've done Barefoot Again.
Because, you know, listeners, that's, as I've said before on the show, that's how those sort of promises work. You get to just promise that you won't do something that you don't want to do until you watch something you like. Liam's sort of like a toddler in that regard.
Yep.
Mummy, I promise I won't eat any more vegetables till you give me my ice cream.
I like vegetables.
Yeah, well, you're broken, aren't you?
Not a big fan of ice cream, though.
The devil's food. Anyway, we should probably get into this, actually.
Yeah, we should stop putting off talking about this.
Yeah,
and get into
we're sort of nervous, because...
First thing I would like to say, I'm very sorry if I butcher any of the pronunciations. I'm not being myopic... imperialistic douchebag.
Myopic, yeah.
I'm not good at... I can't even pronounce certain, like, British American...
You can barely speak.
Yeah, I'm sort of like, again, much like a toddler, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's fine, Liam. Getting the names wrong in a Japanese film is fine.
Yeah. Alright, are we going to do this?
Yeah.
Okay. A brief plot synopsis. We see the film starts and we kind of see the effect of a war on a family who are just struggling to get by day on rations.
Yeah.
It's already, like, I think the opening, sort of 20-25 minutes, is effective in just showing, like, how shit it must be to live through a war.
Yeah, no, it's horrible. You have the whole, like, Gen and Shinji, who are the two young boys in the family.
They're brothers.
And they're sort of still quite upbeat in the way that young kids are.
Yeah.
But then you have these scenes where, like, they go home and their mum finds them some food because they're starving and haven't eaten.
Yeah.
And then the older sister, Aiko,
yeah.
She says, she's like, no, you know that's for mum because she's pregnant and she needs the food for the baby.
Yeah, so the family unit, you've got the father, a mother who's pregnant, an older sister, a brother, and a younger brother.
Yeah.
But yeah, come on, carry on.
So, like you said, already you're seeing, like...
It's already sad.
Yeah, it is.
It's already sad.
At the beginning, it's sort of the sadness is hidden. Not hidden, but do you know what I mean? Like, there's that layer of you're just watching these two kids sort of...
trying to get by and...
Yeah. And they're not having a good time.
No.
But the kids themselves aren't, like, constantly sad.
No. It just... I think it does a good... It makes a good, like, point of showing kind of an element to war that is maybe forgotten. Because you think a lot of war films, right? You see it from perspectives of, like, soldiers fighting, right? I'm thinking, like, stuff like Saving Private Ryan, stuff like Apocalypse Now, etc., etc. This is just, like, a very humble... It's a little family. They're trying to get by. It's a struggle.
Yeah. It's also, like, this film isn't just trying to portray war. It is very specifically portraying the Japanese in World War II. Like, there's this... The running vein of, like... There's because back then, Japan was under an emperor...
Yeah.
And there was this sort of imperial rule going on.
Yeah.
So, like, there's this very, like, people celebrating people going off to the military to fight in this war.
Yeah.
And the dad in the family, whose name is Daikichi?
Sure. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
It's, like, he's the equivalent of a conscientious objector, it seems like, where he's, like, he doesn't, not in public, but to his kids, he's like, I think it's taking courage to be the coward who doesn't go.
Yeah.
Because he's not going because he's scared of war. He's not going because he doesn't agree with what is happening.
Yeah, exactly.
So it is very specifically. I'm not trying to, like, belittle your point of it being war. I just wanted to make clear that it is also a very specifically Japanese view.
Yeah, definitely. What I think the opening sort of 25 minutes does really well, especially for someone like me, right? I don't have siblings, but I think it absolutely nails the portrayal of a brother and a younger brother.
Yeah.
Where, like, the younger brother is constantly, like, looking to the older brother and, like, copying them and kind of looking to them for, like, approval or for guidance as to what to do next. And
and they're both always friends, and then also
they
arguing.
fight a lot. I absolutely bought into that relationship. Like,
100%.
It was so well done. Especially, I think, like, you probably shouldn't say something like this, but especially for an animated film, because I think it can sometimes be hard to emotionally invest into animated characters sometimes.
I don't particularly find that, but I know that I'm fully into animated stuff.
Yeah, true. I guess, like, I think animation these days is doing better. Like, Pixar do an amazing job at getting you emotionally invested in their characters and stuff.
Yeah.
But especially from me and my experiences with anime, this is the first one where I've really got, like, massively invested in the characters.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think the opening... So, I'm very deliberately talking about this opening, like, 25 minutes. It's all of this stuff is before the bomb drops.
Yeah.
And
is there a chance that listeners don't know what Hiroshima is? Or Hiroshima?
We'll get there anyway.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like that it's not like I feel like we should probably just say, just in case... I can't imagine anyone doesn't know, but Hiroshima was the first city in Japan that was hit by the nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
just
Project
in case you didn't know
Manhattan,
that.
I think it was.
Well, that was the project that made the bomb.
Yes,
Yeah.
The first half does have this constant, like, ticking down type of theme going to it. Like, the way the music is, there's a few shots of clocks and stuff, like, dates are being thrown on screen.
Yeah.
That it's very clearly building to what is about to happen. And I don't know, I think the opening, like, act of this movie just sets everything up so superbly.
It does, yeah.
It just makes what happens next. Even, like, just on paper, what happens is horrendous. But to get you, like, as emotionally involved in these characters as it does, and then do this to them, is just a stroke of genius, I find.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing with what happens in the bomb, right, is that was the first point in the movie where I just cried, and not even, like...
It's not like a single tear. It's like...
No, I was just crying.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even what's happening to his family. Like, it wasn't even characters I was invested in. It was just the absolute horror of the way the nuke exploding is portrayed.
Yeah.
Just was so emotionally horrible.
Yeah. And
I couldn't imagine how horrifying that situation was.
I think the other thing is it's portrayed so well through animation in this movie.
Yes, yeah. Because if the stuff they showed... If they showed that in a live-action film...
It would just be...
I think you'd think it was gratuitous.
Yeah.
Which it isn't, because it is what happens.
Yeah.
But I think it would detract from it because you'd get people being like, oh, it's so... such a gory film.
Yeah, like,
why
it
have they done
almost...
this?
Like, the way it's shown here almost looks like it's ripped from a horror movie.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, there are... So basically, listeners, you see them drop the bomb.
Yeah.
And Gen is out with his... Out at school.
He's on his way to school.
So he's not with his family.
Yeah.
He's with one of his friends.
Yeah.
And as the bomb explodes, he falls over or goes to grab something off the floor.
He goes to tie his shoe up, I think.
That's it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
he sort of ducks behind, like, a wall.
Yeah. So you see the bomb explode and the entire screen turns white.
Yeah.
And you watch as these people are basically just burnt to death in the light of a nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
And the animation is them, like, these people just effectively melting away, and it's
in like slow motion.
Yeah, like just eyes popping out of it. It's horrible to watch.
It is. It's incredibly nasty, but it makes its point.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like you're watching it and being like I said earlier, like it doesn't feel like gratuitous gore.
No,
it's not a gore fest. You're literally just sitting there and you're like, Jesus, this is what happens when a nuke is dropped, and it's very upsetting.
Yeah,
and then Gen survives that initial blast because he's behind the wall, so he's in the shade, which is a thing.
His friend, like, half of them is just burnt.
Half her face melts off and she dies.
Yeah.
Then you watch as Gen...
Do you know one of the bits that really hit me as well, right? Yeah. So you see this, like, montage of people essentially melting, and there's one where it's this mother with, I think... she's
with the baby.
The baby's on her back.
Yeah.
And the baby sort of, like, is falling off of her, and as she's melting, she's still going to grab
tries to protect it. Yeah,
it's just, it's stuff like that is just so harrowing to watch.
Honestly, talking about it is making me really sad again.
Yeah, because
I'm remembering it all and just being like, oh god.
And it also it doesn't just show you, like, the initial blast. It shows you things like people getting cut to shreds by exploding glass.
Yeah, so effectively you get the initial blast, which creates this incredible heat that melts and burns and is horrible. Then you get the force of the explosion coming through, which throws Gen away.
Yeah.
After that, he sort of gets up and just sees the devastation that is Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Sees his friend who's dead.
Which, again, right, it's something that I think they almost do a bit, not subtle, but it's not hugely emphasised in the film. But there is a line of dialogue where can you even just comprehend what it must be like from the perspective of someone to just 1 second there's a city in front of you and the next second it's just gone.
Yeah, isn't it like he runs to his friend because her hand's sticking out of the rubble.
Yeah. And
then he realises she's dead and then turns around and sees what's left of the city, and it's just like, what's happened?
Yeah, it's just like, where is everything?
And then he's like, all these fires start springing up, and he realises that one of the fires is in the direction of his house.
Yeah.
So he runs to his house. On the way, he sees these people walking past who've been severely burnt. Like
They basically look like zombies.
yeah, and he says, "Are what's happening? Are you all ghosts?"
Yeah.
And you see people walking past with just shards of glass.
Yeah.
Peppering their back.
They're melted and still like walking.
Yeah. And they start just collapsing around him. It's
Yeah.
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 And then
It's so I don't even know how to emphasize what it's like watching this movie.
Yeah, because it's honestly, you're just like, I think for most of after this point, I was just like in tears.
Yeah.
Like there was a point where I was just lying there, and I wasn't even like, it wasn't even like crying where like you're sitting there, you know, doing the whole like. I was literally just lying there with tears constantly streaming out of my eyes.
Yeah.
And my body wasn't even reacting to it. I was just lying there and crying.
Yeah.
It was it's just a constant.
It's the fact that it happened.
Yeah, that's what makes it worse. Is you're sitting
Yeah.
there and you're like, I know this is actually a thing. This is like
Yeah. And no. So the film is based on a manga, and the writer of the manga, Keiji Nakazawa. Apologies if I butcher that name. It's loosely based on his own story. Like, he was one of the survivors of Hiroshima.
Yeah.
So it's not only is it like, oh, this actually happened. It's not even like, oh, this happened, but it's just someone thinking, oh, you know, like coming up with it. It's from the eyes of someone that was there, essentially.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Jesus, it's horrible.
But yeah, so he gets to his family home.
Yep, and then you get like maybe the most the most horrifying scene after. I don't even know. They're all just so sad.
Honestly, like after the first like 25-minute mark, it's an endurance test.
It's just blow after blow, emotional blow after emotional blow.
Yeah.
He basically, his family are, his mum is outside the house.
Yeah.
She was blown off. You see when the bomb explodes, you see she's on a balcony.
She's on like the porch, I think.
Yeah, and so she gets knocked off. His dad, his brother, and his sister are trapped in the burning house.
Yeah.
Literally trapped because one of the supports of the house falls on them.
Yeah.
And you know, in a normal movie, they would escape and everything would be happy. But in this one, because it's, you know, based on real life and all these horrifying things, his family, his dad has to tell him to just leave them because they can't get the beam off.
Yeah, they try to, which is, I think, almost even worse. It is
him and his pregnant mum trying to. His mum screaming that she's too weak and she wishes she wasn't.
Yeah.
And then his dad is like, just go. You have to protect your mum and the baby. They need you now.
Yeah.
And then you as the viewer get to watch as Shinji, his little brother, screams, Mum, where are you? I'm burning, Mum, come back. And it's just horrifying.
Yeah. It really is. Like, there's no kind of... It's a hard one to talk about. We can't make jokes about this movie.
No, it's not. There's nothing funny.
No, we can't be like, oh, we had such a good time watching this. It's not that sort of movie.
No, it isn't.
It's the sort of movie that is amazing. I genuinely think this should be shown in schools.
I mean, well, I don't know.
Not like to a ridiculously young age, but like, I definitely like secondary school.
I mean, yeah, if we want people not to be nuking each other,
yeah, which
then
we do,
like this
right?
is a pretty good way of doing it. Yeah, 100%.
That's something that we definitely do want because So okay, we get through the initial blast. We get through him losing his parents. We're now
just his dad.
His dad and most of his family. His mum's still alive. We're probably at this point about halfway through the movie.
Yep.
And now we have to deal with essentially the fallout of a nuclear bomb.
Oh, I can't tell if that was a really bad pun or not, Liam.
I don't think it was meant to be.
Okay, good.
It's just stuff that... The other thing that I think is quite harrowing is there's a very like matter-of-fact... You watched the dubbed version, right?
Yeah.
So I watched the subbed version, and the way it seemed to me, you'll be able to say better because the way it was like delivered. But in the subs, at least, it seems like there's a very matter-of-fact voiceover that's kind of... First they're saying like what the dates are and stuff leading up, but then they're also explaining things like, we didn't know it at the time, but the rain was like full of radiation. And
it's very matter-of-fact.
Yeah, and it's just like... I think
it's almost done... In the dub, it's almost done like how you would watch a documentary and have like a voiceover occasionally being like, you know, oh, this is on September the 16th, this happened. And it is very much like that. Yeah, because it starts raining and it's all black rain because it's the debris that was thrown into the atmosphere and also radioactive waste falling on everyone.
they collect the rain. They try and help people that are essentially dying.
Yeah, there are more burnt people who are desperate for water.
Yeah, they give them the water they've collected from the rain, and those people just start dying.
And they think it's because of the water, and then the voiceover tells you that there were people who stayed alive because their need for water was so desperate that they were able to, like, keep on fighting.
Yeah.
But the moment they had their thirst quenched, they gave up.
Yeah.
And it's just horrifying.
Yeah. It also is partly because it's radiated water as well.
Oh, did they say that in the sub?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because in the dub, it was very much like, oh, they just had their thirst quenched, and that was the...
Yeah, no. It was very much like, yeah, don't be drinking the radiated water.
I mean, yeah, that did seem like, when they were like, oh, it's because they had their thirst quenched, I was like, well, it also doesn't seem very safe.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean, after this point, the movie just sort of... follow Gen.
The mum gives birth.
The mum gives birth to a baby because she's been starving since before the war. She doesn't have enough milk.
Yeah.
So Gen has to go and sort of try and
there's also... Okay, I don't know how I feel about this bit. Like, it's I was always going to say it's a weird bit. It's not weird, but there's another character that gets introduced. It is Ryuta, I think.
I mean, that's not for a while.
It's before he goes to get milk, isn't it?
No.
Oh, I'm jumping ahead. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
Because there's a bit where his mum can't produce breast milk because she's so hungry.
Yeah.
And at that point, they haven't met Ryuta yet.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Where Gen goes off to try and find just sort of general help.
Yeah.
The mum goes to try and specifically find someone that can breastfeed her daughter for her.
Oh, yeah, and then you've got that absolutely awful scene where there's a baby just like breastfeeding off of a dead woman because I think again the voiceover, I think it's the mum this time saying, oh, the baby doesn't realise that the woman's dead.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And
it is just like blow
then
after
she finds
blow.
a woman who says you should just kill your baby because who would want to live in this?
Yeah.
Then tries to kill the baby and then breaks down in tears and breastfeeds her because her daughter died or her child died.
I think her baby died. You see that the baby's like behind a tree or something. Yeah.
And then, Gen finds a soldier who's suffering from radiation poisoning, so shits blood and vomits blood.
And his hair falls out.
Tries to save him by taking him to a hospital where they're basically like saying to people, that the doctors are saying to each other, if anyone's had X, Y, and Z symptoms,
just don't even
leave
bother.
them because there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Then Gen's hair falls out, so he thinks he's going to die.
Yeah.
And has a scene where he just cries to his mum, screaming, I don't want to die, which is horrifying.
Yep. It's so bad.
Eventually, they set up a little tiny hut that they live in.
Yeah.
And they meet Ryuta. Gen finds a food stockpile that the top level, like...
It's loads of bags of rice.
Yeah, and all the top level have been burnt to ash by the bomb, but there's like bags at the bottom that are safe.
Yeah.
Or, well, not
in the middle.
burnt.
Yeah.
So he takes them, they set up a little hut, and you sort of cut a little bit ahead. I don't know how long it was.
Yeah.
And then this... So, yeah, do you want to talk about Ryuta? Because you were going to say you weren't sure about it.
So this character looks exactly like the little brother that's already died, and they comment on it saying how much like it he looks. And this character Ryuta, his family has died, and they kind of like, they kind of say, if you want to join us, you can. And I don't know what they were trying to do with that. I don't know why the choice was made to have that character look like the little brother. Yeah,
I didn't really. I don't know if it's so. My sort of assumption on that is that perhaps because it's an animated movie, it is the same character drawn.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think maybe the point is that Gen and his mum are so emotionally destroyed by this that I sort of read it as the kid not actually looking like his brother.
That's sort of what
they're so broken at this point.
Yeah, that is kind of what I was thinking, but it's the sort of thing that I think. It's not explicitly stated anyway.
No, it's not.
Like the mum says, like has a line where she's like, "Oh, every person has like another 5 people in the world that look exactly like them."
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't. I didn't know exactly what they were trying to do with that choice, but I agree with what you're saying. Like it's easy to understand it being that Gen and his mum are just too broken to really see it as anything else. And the new character like Ryuta is very like happy to be accepted into his family. Has been struggling kind of on their own, and like tries to fit in. Like realises that Gen likes it when he calls him Big Brother, so does it more.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
stuff like that.
he does it by accident at first, which
Yeah.
is a very sort of sweet moment.
Yeah.
And then Gen being like, yeah, I am a big brother. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't get happy at this point, but there's a very brief moment of sort of sunshine in this film where the two new brothers are trying to protect their new little sister by going and earning money.
Yeah.
They then help this old man who he's suffering from the radiation burns and got maggots in his wounds, and his family have sort of abandoned him. Sort of. He's in their house, but they're
quite
like to look at
wealthy,
him.
so they're trying to like hire people to look after him, so they don't have to.
And all the other kids that have been hired to do it have quit because the guy's room smells of death.
And the guy's quite miserable as well.
He's miserable because the way he sees it is everyone's abandoned him.
Yeah, he kind of doesn't really want to have to carry on living. Yeah.
So they clean him up. He then tries to sort of bully them a little bit, and they just go to leave. And then he has an emotional breakdown where he's like, one of them Gen slaps him.
Yeah.
And he says, "You don't like. If you please just stay. I need human contact. Please just stay. Slap me as much as you want."
Yeah.
And it's basically like, I've had no human contact, so even being slapped is something for me.
Yeah.
And then they sort of become his friend and look after him.
Yeah.
They finally make all the money to get their baby sister milk.
Yeah.
They go back home, and Tomoko is dead, and you just get a horrifying scene of the mum holding the dead baby, looking at Gen.
Saying too late.
Yep, and then Gen just holding the baby and begging her to come back, and it's just horrifying.
Yeah. It does end on a happy note.
Yeah, it does. You have a scene where Ryota says he's heard that the grass won't grow for 70 years.
Yeah.
So everything is dead. And then in the sort of final scenes, they're running along, and suddenly Ryota notices that there's wheat growing.
Yeah, and it calls back to an earlier scene where the dad talks about how wheat is like constantly stamped on and survives all these like elements, and it still like perseveres. And, like,
no matter how much wheat is beaten down, it always grows back.
Yeah, and he's trying to tell his kids to be like wheat, like in the face of adversity, just like endure basically.
Yeah, and Gen's hair starts to grow back at that point as well.
Oh yeah, did we talk about his? Oh yeah, we did talk about that.
We said his hair fell out, and like we thought he had radiation poisoning, which he does, but clearly not the most severe.
Yeah.
So his hair starts to grow back. He then remembers that he promised Shinji. He had made a boat for Shinji that they were going to take to the river.
Yeah.
So he rebuilds the boat in their new little hut.
Mm-hmm.
And the mum, and Ryota take it down to the river. They light a candle on top of it, send it out into the river, and Gen, why do I keep saying Genji? Gen sort of shouts out to his brother and dad and says, "Can you see us? We're doing it for you."
Yeah.
Well, to all his family, Tomoko and Aiko. And so there's like it's a happy bit at the end where like you're like, oh, okay, there's hope that, you know, life goes on and maybe they can power through like the wheat.
Yeah.
And the mum's not, you know, because there's a couple of times in the film where I was like, oh god, the mum's just gonna like kill herself and it's gonna be really horrible.
Yeah, it never gets quite like that.
No, she sort of manages to pull through.
Yeah. But I'm aware, like we've done a thing in this episode that we don't often like to do, where we have just basically gone through the plot. But I don't know how else we would talk about this film, because
we started doing it, and I was like, I don't think there's another way. To talk about this.
There isn't. It's an important film.
It is, honestly. If you haven't seen it, listeners, like this is maybe the one film where seriously you should go and watch it. Like, don't go and watch it and be like, I'm going to have a wonderful time because Ellie and Liam said this is a film I should go and see. It's super important, and also just one of the most upsetting films I've ever seen. Yeah,
like I think when I first watched it, I was not quite prepared for how hard it would hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not only is it important because obviously it all happened, and I feel like it's something that it's almost easy to ignore, especially for us.
It's something that happened before our lifetimes.
Yeah,
you know, most of us, it's probably either grandparents who were young kids in it, or great grandparents that we might not even have met who were part of the war.
Yeah,
and this is this horrifying event that really, you know, only happened like 70 years ago, 60 years ago.
70, I think. So it was 1945 was it when this happened?
Yeah, is that right? Yeah.
Yes, that'd be 73 years ago.
Yeah, so that's not like a crazy long time.
No, it's not. And you know, I don't understand, right? after seeing this film, this is going to sound like a weird thing that I'm going to say, right? I don't understand, after seeing this, how we're in a world where the potential of this happening again exists.
Honestly, I don't like. It's such a difficult thing to talk about, right? Because I'm so anti it.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the worst atrocities humanity's ever done.
Yeah, definitely.
The worst thing about it is this is not even there were 2 nukes. This is the first nuke that fell on Japan.
Yeah.
And after this happened, a second nuke was launched on another city.
Yeah.
And
it's another interesting scene it brings up, right? Because I think the mum, or the family that have survived, hear about the second nuke, and they hear that the emperor has then what's the word?
Surrendered.
Surrendered. Yeah.
Yeah, the emperor. It was the first time in Japanese history that he'd ever done like a radio broadcast. I think that's what they were saying.
And I think, like, imagine, like, from the mum's perspective, I totally get it. She's like, we've just gone through all of this.
Yeah, well, another family are walking past, and the dad's like, "Oh, how can we have surrendered? He's like complaining about the surrender."
Yeah.
And then the mum just screams at him like, "Why now?
Yeah.
Why did it take this for us to do it?"
Exactly.
Because at the beginning of the film, a lot of people are talking about how Japan has already lost the war.
Yeah.
But the actual event is so, I don't know. It's so difficult because, like, I after this, I was like, I want to know. I don't know if this was just a morbid interest, but I wanted to know what the people who dropped specifically the plane that dropped the bombs.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, like, what those people said.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think part of me was like, I hope that.
Like, how do you live with yourself? But equally,
I don't want to say that because I sort of. It's not like I get it. I don't know. I don't want to just come. I don't want to be one of those people that just very snap judgmentally.
No,
like,
there's
fuck
two.
Those guys.
I think there's 2 elements to it, right? So the first is, how do you live with yourself after essentially doing that? But equally, there is a whole chain of command that gets you to that. So it's like, from the perspective of, I'm the one flying the plane, dropping the bomb. I'm following orders, right?
Yeah.
How do you live with yourself being the person that, like, there's a lot of people in this chain that I'm like, how do you live with yourself? Like, the person that essentially created this, the person that went, let's weaponize this, the person that gave the order to drop this. Like,
yeah,
there's a lot of just like, how was there at no stage in that someone that went, this is not a good idea?
So the main thing I was seeing, right, in these interviews that some of them gave afterwards, was, and this is like, you know, there were some that were like interviews from soonish after, and there were some that were talking about it now, and the ones that were talking about it now, a lot of them were like, I have no remorse. It was a thing we did. It had to happen. Yeah, we did it.
Because essentially, a lot of people consider it as this is what won the war as well.
Well, it definitely pulled Japan out of the war.
Yeah,
but like, I don't know. Basically, if this hadn't happened, America was planning a mainland invasion of Japan.
Yeah.
And a lot of the pilots and the bombers who flew this mission were saying, if we hadn't done this, the death toll in Japan would have been so much higher.
Yeah.
And that's why this was okay.
I think...
But I can't, my head can't fit around that. Which, like, again, and they might be right. But to me, this is such a horrifying thing to do.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I can't believe that those were the only 2 options.
No,
that would have ended it with Japan. And I don't know. Like, maybe they were, but
it's just,
after seeing this as well and having it like reinforced what it's like.
Yeah, like this movie does not sugarcoat it whatsoever, and it shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't. No,
it really shouldn't.
It's a very real thing that happened to these people.
Did you notice that when there's a scene that shows the planes come in and the pilots inside the planes in Barefoot again? Did you notice the animation style change? Yes,
it changes from because Gen and his family are drawn in a very sort of old school anime way. Yeah, like Gen and Shinji are almost cartoonish. Yeah, in their sort of style. Yeah, and that scene where it shows the pilot and the bomber they're drawn very like almost realistically. Yeah, I did notice that. Yeah, which I thought there's just so many like decisions that are made into the craft of this movie that I think are interesting, especially like if I was a smarter person, I could probably draw a lot of really interesting commentary out of that. Like if this was like a Jason and Lee type thing, they'd be able to fucking proper dig into that. I'm dumb, I can't do that. I can just go, there is a difference, and I think it's important. But then I almost feel like with this film, like it's just one of those films where the message is so clear. Oh yeah. that it almost doesn't need that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I almost feel like I don't know if I want to hear a breakdown of like all the subtle details in this film, because
No, but I think that sort
like
of...
no, do you know what I mean though? Like what does like
Yeah.
I'm not, I don't know. I'm making
don't
it sound
think
like I'm
it's
like,
like-
oh, what does it matter? But
No, I don't think
I
it's
don't
like you can break it down and they're like, oh, there's room for multiple interpretations. But I
no,
think
no,
you
no.
can-
That's yeah, I know. I
You
know
can
that's what
break
you
it
were saying.
down like them showing this in that way emphasizes this, or
Yeah,
you know, there's probably a lot to dig into with the like you said, like the way that Gen and Shinji are animated.
yeah,
But yeah, it's such a powerful movie that I've been wanting. Partly why I've wanted to do this as well, is just because I want more exposure to this film. Like, it's not a Studio Ghibli film, and I feel
No.
like there is maybe not a lot, but there's a fair few people who look at anime, especially movies, and they probably get as far as Studio Ghibli and don't massively look beyond that.
yeah,
And I think, you know, this. I don't know why this movie isn't talked about more.
yeah. That's fair. It's yeah,
Like, I hadn't
think
heard
it's
of
just
it
an
until I went to
important
uni and I was doing an animation course, and they were doing like different animation styles from around the world, and this movie came up.
yeah,
Yeah, and you know, if it hadn't have been for that, I would probably have never heard of this film.
yeah. That's fair.
Which is just crazy to me, because it so should. I like I said, it should be shown in schools. I genuinely think that.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the sort of anime that I like, the type that just feels like it's just kicked you repeatedly for about 90 minutes, and then
Yeah.
afterwards you're just left as this like
Emotional wreck.
sobbing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because it touches you. Like, there's not many movies I think elicit that sort of response from me. I know from you there's like millions, but from me,
not on this level though.
no. Like,
This is a different. There's different types of crying.
yeah, and this
This is
that,
probably the only film I've cried like this to.
yeah,
Like, I cry at Your Name because it's an emotional movie in terms of like love and loss and stuff.
yeah.
I cry at this film because this is
It's
an
just
upsetting.
It's
just-
harrowing.
yeah,
Absolutely harrowing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah. But as harrowing as it is, I still think it's an excellent movie.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's an amazing movie.
Yeah, it's a hard movie, right? It's a hard movie to recommend.
I would never. There's no situation that someone could be like, what movie should I watch?
Yeah.
I'm in X situation. Unless that situation is, hey, I'm considering dropping a nuclear bomb on another country. What film should I watch?
Yeah.
And I say, watch Barefoot again, and then they'd immediately disarm, hopefully.
Yeah. We have had correspondence about Barefoot again.
Oh yeah? From who?
We had an email from Kat.
Oh, well, it's only going to be Kat because the episode before this hasn't gone up yet. So
Yeah.
only Kat will know that we're doing it.
Yeah. She said the first time I watched Barefoot again was at Liam's suggestion when I was alone at home and probably a bit hormonal. I cried big ugly tears. This movie is equal parts beautiful and harrowing.
Yeah.
It lulls you in, then bam, devastation.
Yeah.
It's an absolute roller coaster, and the animation is stunning. It's definitely up there as one of my faves of all time, purely because of how emotional it is and the impact it had on me when I first saw it. And yeah, so Kat went back home for a weekend. I recommended if she got bored, she should watch this. I just had this like Skype call or like FaceTime or something from her, and she was just sitting on her bed, just like tears just running down her face. And she was like, "Why did you make me watch this?"
Yeah, I mean, that was a mean thing of you to do.
It was, but equally, just I don't know how more people haven't seen it. It just watch this movie. Honestly, like we haven't sold it. We've not. I don't think we've done it. Like if you've listened to all of this culture swap, you're probably not in a position where you're like, "This sounds like a movie I want to watch." Don't give a fuck. Watch it.
Yeah, no, you should watch it.
Yeah. Out of 5,
Can we not?
we can not, but
I don't know. I don't feel right rating it.
I gave it 4.5 out of 5.
Okay, I don't feel right rating it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just feel like it's its own thing.
this.
And I don't
This
know.
to me is the best anime I've ever seen, and I don't know how it would get topped.
Yeah, well,
Like I'm sure that I'm confident. It's like I've always said to you. I think there's anime out there that I would really enjoy and I would really love. There's probably an anime somewhere out there that I would prefer to this because it would probably hit me on the same like emotional level, but like not in a
without the harrowing,
yeah, not in a like I'm sad way, but in a like how uplifting sort of way. But I don't know how to find it because, like you said, you can't Google movies like Barefoot again and be in for a good time.
No, because it's all just Barefoot Gen 2 and Grave of the Fireflies.
Are you going to watch Barefoot again too?
No, I don't think I'll be able to.
Okay. Like, I have it, so it's now on my list, so I kind of have to at some point.
Maybe you should do it and then do it in housekeeping and just say to me, like, then
That's
you
the
can
plan.
say to me whether it's important that I watch it.
Yeah.
And then maybe at some point in the future I'll watch it.
Yeah, like, I will get around to it, but I watched this one, I was like, do I want to watch the second one? It's like, one's enough for one
Yeah,
day.
I think you definitely need a big period of time between the two.
Yeah.
If the second one's anything like this one.
Which I imagine it will be.
Yeah.
You never know, I could watch the second one and be like, oh yeah, this is now my favourite one, because it's just all good things.
It's just a happy story.
Yeah, just everyone's having a good time.
Yep.
It's set in a parallel universe where the bomb didn't drop.
Yeah, you just get to see they're not at war.
Yeah.
You just get to see their happy family.
Yeah, they're not hungry.
No.
They're just loving life. Are you pleased we've done it now?
Well, yeah, like, I'm pleased in that it means you won't complain about other anime, like, as in when we do them.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm, like, not pleased because I've been sad for, like, 5 days.
It's not been that long, has it?
When did I watch it?
Was it not yesterday?
Oh, God, yeah, it was. I feel like it was 5 days.
Yeah.
I watched it yesterday morning before I went to a fun drag show. That probably didn't help the drag show, to be honest.
No, probably not. It probably didn't get you in the mood.
I'd watched Barefoot Gen in the morning and then went to watch a comedy show.
Yeah.
I was just glaring at the drag queen like, you don't understand.
You don't understand the shit I've seen today. It's just
dear.
that specific scene after the bomb explodes is just possibly one of my favourite scenes in any movie because of how just awful it is. Which is, I know is a weird thing to say.
No, I get what you mean.
It's like, okay, it's not like this thematically, but in the way it made me feel. There's a movie called Irreversible that you might have heard of.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
It has somewhat of a reputation, and there is a scene in it that is like this where it's just real hard to watch, and it's the only movie where I had to pause it halfway through just because I couldn't take it anymore. I just had to have like a break and just like collect myself before I finished.
Yeah.
And you know, those sort of movies, they're so hard to want to watch, but I think they're so important that they get watched.
Yeah.
So we might do that in a future culture swap. Who knows?
Maybe not.
Well, we'll see. So that was Barefoot Gen. We've finally done it. We've finally, after what, 3 years?
Yeah.
This is a milestone in the Nerd on Nerd history. It's not often that we make a promise to our listeners that we actually follow through on.
I mean, you made a promise to the listeners.
And we followed through on it.
And it was a selfish promise.
Was it?
Yeah, because you just wanted... Yes, Liam, because you wanted an excuse not to watch anime.
No, I wanted an excuse to make you watch this.
Yeah, fine.
What are we doing next time?
Liam, next time's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yay, thanks for doing Barefoot Gen, the episode before my birthday.
That's alright, you made me do Princess Mononoke last time for your birthday.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
That's not exactly
I
the
don't know if
happiest
that
of films.
compares to you making me watch the most depressing film before my birthday.
I don't know.
But sure, okay. Liam,
Yeah.
for my birthday,
Yeah.
I've picked something very special for you.
Okay. For me?
Because, yeah,
Okay.
listeners, you don't know this because you don't see the behind the scenes. But I had something picked out for my birthday.
What
and
was
Liam,
it?
I'm not telling you because I might do it in the future. You know what it was.
I know what it was.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell the listeners because it'll be a pleasant surprise. I don't want them to be upset that they didn't get to watch it because you were such a dick.
I think the only reason why...
Liam
no,
whinged
let me explain.
and whinged
The only reason...
And whinged.
The only reason why is because we now have this stupid new rule where if we do a TV show, we do the whole season.
Yeah.
And the whole season of this was like 8 hours. And I was like, Jesus Christ, my track record with anime TV shows is not good.
Yeah, but that's not an excuse not to do it.
No, but if it was
That's
like...
such a shit excuse.
I know, but if it was like what with Attack on Titan, if you were like, we're going to do the first 6 episodes, I wouldn't have complained.
Listeners, do you remember that episode? I don't remember how long ago it was, where Liam tried to surprise me by saying he would watch more of Attack on Titan.
It was your last birthday episode. I tried to do it for you.
And then promised me that he'd finish it and didn't. So I'm really glad that we keep our promises to our listeners, just not to each other.
Yeah, it was your last birthday episode. Your present was that I was going to finish Attack on Titan.
So I still haven't got that birthday present.
You got some of it. I did 10 episodes.
Whatever.
I struggled.
So anyway, Liam whined and whined about me picking this anime series. He had a little whine. It's one of my favourite ones, honestly. It's maybe my favourite anime ever. Like show, not film. listeners know that Princess Mononoke's up there with my favourite film. I don't know if it is my favourite, but Your Name is, obviously. That was a silly thing to say.
Yeah.
Anyway,
obviously.
he whined and whined, so I've decided that, fine, for my birthday, I'll do something that I equally love.
Right.
It's not as long.
Okay.
In fact, it's very short compared to that.
Okay.
I think in total, it's maybe 60 minutes.
Okay.
Liam, what we are watching
Yeah.
is a web series called Her Story.
Is this based on the game?
No.
Okay.
It has the same title as that game.
You've spoken to me about this before. It's transgendery, isn't it?
Yes.
Is that? Can I say that?
Well, transgender is not a word, but it's about transgender people, yes.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you've spoken to me about this.
I've watched it before, and I thought it was amazing when I watched it.
Okay.
It's called Her Story.
How can people find it? Because I'm assuming...
www.herstoryshow.com.
Okay, because we don't want people just Googling and then they find a game.
Which we have reviewed on here before.
We have. If they Google right, they might even be able to find our YouTube episode that's up there
it's
with
just
us talking
not
about it.
at all relevant to what we're doing.
No. So it's herstoryshow.com, is it?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's only 6 episodes. I think each episode is about 10 minutes long.
Okay. Am I going to learn stuff?
Probably, yeah.
Should I watch it with Kat?
Yeah, I think Kat would maybe enjoy it, yeah.
Has it been in a bread bin?
What?
I don't know, I was just thinking of
Were you trying to do that mineral, animal, vegetable thing?
Sure.
Where they say, does it fit in a bread bin?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Got it wrong though. I said, has it been in a bread bin?
You did. Which has it been in a bread bin?
No, I'm quite interested to watch this.
Good. I'm glad.
I think this is a much better choice.
And then for my birthday present, you have to finish Attack on Titan, so there we go.
I can try. I can't promise anything, but I can try.
Do or do not, Liam. There is no try.
It's a try.
No, there is only do or do not.
You could do not something, but also try to do something but fail.
But then that's do not.
But you can still try.
But you did not.
Probably won't.
It's all getting very confusing. How do listeners get in contact with us, Liam? If they want to contact us and talk about and tell us about Her Story or Barefoot Gen, because we will do that next episode. If anyone has thoughts on Barefoot Gen, let us know, because I'm aware that this episode's coming out before we've even put the last one up. It's all very confusing.
So Amanda deliberately didn't, as you heard in the housekeeping, right? She didn't listen to the Princess Mononoke. I don't know why, but I always have to repeat that bit. Like, it always throws me every single time. She didn't listen to the Princess Mononoke culture swap because she was saving it until she'd seen the movie. If she's done that this time, 1, thank you, I'm pleased. But also 2, like, I'm kind of sorry.
Yeah.
Like, I hope you got something out of the movie, but equally sorry that I probably made you cry with it.
Yeah. If this is future Amanda, hey, how are you? Let us know.
Were you sad?
Don't say it like that.
Like what?
I don't know, you said it very condescendingly.
Oh,
and almost aggressively. You were like, are you sad?
Are you sad now?
Have we done it?
My work here is done.
Oh my god.
That's it. I started this podcast just to make as many people as possible sad.
Well, you've achieved it.
Oh,
listeners, you can tweet us at Nerd or Nerd.
Email us.
Pod. Wait. At Nerd or Nerd Pod?
Twit is just at Nerd or Nerd.
You do it, Liam, because I get confused.
Okay. You can tweet us at Nerd on Nerd. You can email us nerdonnerdpod@gmail.com. You can Facebook us, which is facebook.com/nerdonnerdpod.
All one word.
All one word. Find us on YouTube. Search Nerd on Nerd. We're still uploading old episodes. We're still getting Eddie's name wrong on them. We'll get there. It'll start getting right soon-ish. What episode was the Introducing Eddie one?
I don't know.
I think like 50 or something, wasn't it?
Sure.
We'll get there. iTunes. Has anyone left us a review lately?
I don't have the iTunes open.
Probably not. If you want to, you can. You can give us a rating. You can review us. That would be nice. We have a Twitch channel. Don't use it, but we have it.
We might eventually use it.
It's Nerd on Nerd. Probably won't. Yeah, no new reviews.
Cool.
Our last review was from September 2017.
Oh, that's not that bad.
What?
I thought it would be much worse than that.
Yeah, I guess it is under a year ago.
Yeah.
But still. So yeah, do us a favour. Tell your friends.
Spread the word. Shows like us thrive on word of mouth.
Yeah, and...
if you've got any friends that just can't wait to hear about nuclear genocide, send them this episode.
Yeah.
If anyone knows Donald Trump's email address, send him this episode.
Don't. Just don't. I had a dream about him the other day.
Anything happen in it?
Yeah, it's fucked up. So, I know it's really boring hearing about other people's dreams, so I'm going to be as brief as I possibly can.
It's at the end of the episode after we've done all the contacts. Listeners, you can turn it off now if you want. Liam's going to tell me about a dream.
Yeah, I was at secondary school.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was just coming back after summer break, but it was like in the middle of a heat wave. Okay.
So okay,
like what we can't.
Wow, your dreams. I don't know where they come from.
No. Okay. I was in like a class. I had a person next to me who I'd never met before, and behind me was Donald Trump.
In the class?
In the class.
Okay.
So we get our textbooks out, and we start like making notes and writing down.
I hope this ends with Donald Trump bullying you.
All of a sudden, he leans over his desk, puts his head right in my friend's notebook, sniffs it, and then sits back. And I'm just like in a state of disbelief. I look at the teacher's looking over. I look at my friend's like, what the fuck just happened? My new friend. And I look back at Donald Trump, and he's just sat there looking all smug. And the teacher says nothing. Like, the teacher has seen it, but says nothing. And this irks me. So I put my hand up, and I'm like, sir, what should we do if someone just sniffs some of our stuff? And the teacher goes, just drop it. Like, they just don't want to deal with it. So this annoys me even more. So I turn around to Donald Trump, and I'm like, do you want to sniff my book as well then? Which he does.
Of course.
Right? And then afterwards we were at lunch, and I'm with my new friend. And my new friend, this is where it gets like really weird. My new friend is like, I've got a boat, do you want to go sailing? And I say yes.
You don't like sailing, Liam?
Exactly. The fuck is going on in this dream?
Weird.
Like, what was that about?
Sorry, that's where it ends.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh.
Can you explain that?
No.
I've had another dream I had it for the second time last night. So I guess now it's recurring, where I'm dating a girl, don't recognise her, like, after the dream. In the dream, obviously, she's my girlfriend, it's fine. Her mum, most of the time, is absolutely fine. And then, like, a couple of days every month, like, forgets who she is. Sort of like an acute type of dementia, almost.
Yeah.
And tries to escape. And then we have to spend, like, the dream looking for her mum, who's, like, trying to get away from us and, like, climbing over people's back garden fences and stuff. Don't know what that means either.
Bye.
Bye.